Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Here's the drive to left. That one is long gone.
Welcome to the Long Gone Podcast. It's me, Michael, and with me as always, singing some Johnny Cash.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, man.
What up?
Steve Bart.
How's it going, man?
What's up, man?
A lot. Little
Good
Johnny
little song.
Cash, little song, little Ring of Fire.
Like a ring of fired.
Ring of Fired, because we had a couple of turds get kicked. I think that was wasn't that one of our overreactions earlier? I said that one of our questions, like the legit or bullshit of multiple managers will get fired before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I think we were thinking probably not. Well, they happened.
Well, we definitely hinted at a couple, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Big one is Rob Thomson,
Yep.
just because you can't start the season bad, and if you do, you might be the sacrificial lamb because the front office doesn't want to admit they failed with this payroll.
Koff Dombrowski.
He's
throwing out the
Mendoza.
death chairs. Yeah,
I think Mendoza should be scared, but if you go on Lucky Rebel, I think Thomson would have been the easy guess for the Phillies, because how they started the season.
Yep.
But Cora kind of came out of nowhere for me.
That was a little bit of a
signs
shock.
of life.
Yep. Yeah, they were showing signs of life. I mean, they're on a 3-game win streak now, and they were winning a little bit even before that. But that one definitely came as a shock. I was watching baseball. I think it was Saturday Night Baseball, and that's when the news broke, and it definitely came out of left field. I was not expecting Boston to make a move quite like that. We're talking World Series, World Series champion, taking the Red Sox to playoff multiple times. Had the talent, and like you said, had shown signs of life here recently that they were figuring shit out, and then they decided to blow it all up and say, "Fuck it, we're going to go with our AAA manager here and see what the fuck happens." And I think I'd read a quote from an anonymous source from like a former Red Sox player. It's basically it's like shit in your pants and changing your shirt is the move that the Red Sox made here.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they wouldn't cite the source on it, but it was like a former Red Sox player. That was the quote they said. It's like shit in your pants and changing your shirt.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that quote. I got to keep that. Yeah. That's a brilliant. Cora was a little surprised, like we said, because the Boston was showing some new signs of life, and this was molding into more of his team, right? They let Bregman essentially walk. They traded Devers. They remanufactured this lineup full of youth, basically, starting with Duran, and then you get in Roman Anthony and some of these other names, Marcelo Mayer. And really, in 1,161 games, Cora had 620 wins out of that and only 541 losses. So he really wasn't behind the 8 ball.
Not at all.
I would say I'm not shocked Rob Thomson got fired. And before we even started this show, I mean, it happened this morning. Rob Thomson got fired. We were just going to talk about Alex Cora.
Yep.
But Phillies are like, let me get in on that.
Phillies like, you're finishing your rundown for the show? Yeah, let me throw in another name for you. All right, that'd be great.
Yeah, let me get in on those headlines,
Yeah.
Rob Thomson had a 355 and 270 record. Not bad. And remember, he was one of the ones to take over when Joe Girardi got shit canned, right? And they pushed forth Rob Thomson, who seemed to capture the clubhouse, was able to be their guy. And his big thing is he just couldn't win in the playoffs enough.
Right.
To get to the postseason. But when you start out, I think it's like 9-19 they are. As bad as
the losing streak. I mean, the Mets losing streak was bad. The Phillies one was
You can't
as bad.
They're going to have to. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb.
Yep.
Because they're not going to admit defeat yet. So, So here we are, Steve. We have 2 teams without managers. The guys change shit his pants. That's a fucking brilliant quote. I'm telling you. Where do the Red Sox go from here? And then following up with that, where do the Phillies go from here?
Oh my gosh. Well, looking at Lucky Rebel here, World Series odds, it's funny after this, this departure of managers, the Red Sox and Phillies are both at a plus 3,000 to win the World Series there. Yeah. So it's not looking too good. Phillies, I mean, you put all your chips in and brought the band back together essentially, right?
Yep.
To make this push for world championship. So I think the pressure is going to be on there. They're going to continue to push and see what happens because they still have the players here. Boston,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it might be time for them. I think they might do a shift in gears. And we were talking about Jaron Duran, last week as a potential trade chip. I think the start of a potential full rebuild might be on here for Boston. They got a nice nucleus of talent, and then it's time to cut bait on some of these other people and bring in more help. So I think Boston could go just complete turn and go into full rebuild mode. So that's my feeling for both teams there.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you could blame injuries, right? Sonny
Mhm.
Gray, their big free agent signing,
And
he's
on
on the
my fantasy
15-day
team.
IL,
Yeah.
right? And then you got the Phillies, who have both JT Realmuto and
Yep.
Johan Duran on
Yep.
the IL, which really puts them back. And then you get finally
Mhm.
a healthy Zach Wheeler coming into the
That's
lineup. I
huge.
mean,
Yep.
which is huge, but yeah, there's these things, right? To me, if you look closer at what the problem is, I
Mhm.
think it's bad front office moves and its development, which
Yep.
you and I always get scared about that when we talk about the Detroit Tigers. We
For
were
sure.
like earlier a few years back, it was like, God, is Riley? Did they move him up too soon? Casey Mize, they brought him up too soon. Torque, what the fuck is going on? And
Mhm.
the Red Sox kind of have a couple like up in the air guys, right? I mean, Marcelo Mayer is slowly developing. Christian
Yep.
Campbell, I mean, he came up. Everybody thought he was going to be the next Mookie Betts. They were like, oh
Yep.
my God, he had a horrible season. Let's push him back down. He's not ready for the show.
Yep.
They brought in Masataka Yoshida a couple years ago in a big international free agent signing.
Yep.
He's pushed in. He's like a second or third stringer now in that outfield.
Yeah.
And Roman Anthony, I mean, while Roman Anthony's a really good player, the dude's not doing great to start out the year. 218 with
Nope.
1 home run and 5 ribs
Mhm.
through what 20 something games.
Yep.
Not great, So
No.
I think development's key there. And another thing
Mhm.
with the Reds or with the Phillies, I think it's like the chemistry is not there. I think that's
Right.
something I've mentioned it in a couple of
With the
shows now
Mets.
where right, Sparky Anderson made a living
Yep.
on chemistry,
Chemistry.
and that
Yep.
happens at your lower levels to build it up, right? You can't always assume you're gonna pay a superstar and they're just gonna magically fit in that lineup,
Right. Right.
and I feel like that's the Phillies are having a hard time with that right now.
Yep. Yep. Again, similar to the Mets, great looking team on paper, but paper doesn't go on the field and play the games, and it just seems
Yeah.
like this team just isn't meshing. And what's the definition of insanity? Trying to repeat the same process over and over again, expecting the same results. They
Yes.
seem to be doing this with this team. We'll keep bringing the same people back, try and recapture what we had captured. And a couple of years ago, when we came close to making the World Series and winning it, we're going to keep bringing these same people back. But
Yeah.
it's not working.
No,
It's
bro, it's
and
not working.
it's time for a change. And wouldn't be surprised if if Dave Dombrowski does a Dave Dombrowski thing. Remember right before he got fired from the Tigers in 2015 when he traded
Unloads the
away,
fucking
when he
chamber.
unloaded the chamber and then got fired. I would not be surprised it happens again in Philadelphia where he unloads the chamber and then gets fired.
The kind of guy he always was. One thing I
Yep.
love about Dave Dombrowski, he's consistent.
Yep.
He's a guy that doesn't really care about the farm system. All he does is draft as a means of trading later on.
Right.
And
Yep.
sometimes it works for him and sometimes it doesn't. But right now, where they need development is just not there. It's not happening.
Yep.
Steve, real quick, do you have any potential managers in mind that you'd want to take over for these teams? I right off the bat, if I were the Phillies or the Red Sox, I would start looking at these teams that have like Don Kelly, be like, dude, we'll give you everything to come over here at the end of the next year. I don't know what Don Kelly's contract is, but I'd start reaching out to these guys.
Yeah, I'd start looking at the the bench coaches or the younger managers on like a Don Kelly.
Mhm.
You're gonna laugh, but whose name's gonna probably get in the mix again, right?
Who?
Brad Ausmus.
Oh man,
Get ready.
that guy.
He's got a lot. He's had a lot of success as bench coach here for the Yankees under Aaron
Yeah.
Boone, and he just seems to always weasel himself into a discussion. So
Yeah, you're right, Steve.
wouldn't be surprised. But look at the bench coaches for the contenders. Who's the Dodgers bench coach right now? I'd say take a look. They'll start plucking. Usually they'll look at the the winners, and then look at their coaching staff and try and pluck someone from there. I don't have specific names, but that's something that I think they'll probably look at.
Yeah, maybe Don Mattingly ends up getting the manager role again.
Yeah, right now he's the interim right now with the Phillies.
Right, but maybe they just put him the stamp because remember, he has more managerial experience than Rob Thomson did.
Yep.
So if the Phillies turn it around, Don Mattingly will himself into another
There he
job.
comes. Yep. he backs himself right into another job.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Go Don.
Oh, that's funny. Get it, Don. Get it, Don.
Get it, bro.
Oh boy.
So the MLB posted their current top 5 power rankings with the Dodgers being number 1, the Yankees being number 2, Braves 3, Cubs 4, and Padres 5. Not a lot of surprises there, but do you agree with these power rankings, or would you mix any of these? There's a few teams I think I'd mix up. How about you?
I'd put the Padres higher just because they're a half a game out of first right now from the Dodgers, nipping on their heels. I'd put the Padres maybe at a 2 or a 3. I do like what the Braves are doing right now, but the Cubs went in and they lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. I mean they're doing well right now, but I'd put the Padres ahead of the Cubs, and Yankees are doing their thing, but the Rays are also sniffing on the Yankees taint right now at 17-11. Sniffing out first place in the AL East. So I don't know, the Yankees feel a little bit high to me. I do a Cubs. I do Dodgers, Padres, Yankees, Braves, Cubs.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on Lucky Rebel, I'm sure that's kind of the line too.
Yeah,
definitely with the Dodgers and the Yankees, and then the Braves. I would probably. I do Dodgers, Braves, Yankees.
Yeah.
Padres, Cubs. I would probably do. Yeah. But they're all great teams.
They are. Yep.
Yankees have started hot before, trickled off, but they've started slow before, and then, came on. So,
yep.
Yeah. But it would make sense if Brad Ausmus does become a coach manager somewhere, because you look at just the amount of experience he has now. I could be like a team desperately needing to start over. And we were like, where's our Ron Gardenhire? Guy that's just going to be the floater to the next guy.
Right,
it could be a Brad Ausmus
again. A placeholder. Yeah. No, I definitely could see that. Because when he started in Detroit, he had no experience, but now he's bounced around a bit. Hasn't taken really the big role again, but he's gotten more bench coach experience. So he definitely could be that stopgap. I think. Helping a team, have that get to that next level. So look out. Plus, he's probably got some nudes on Rob Manfred or something. And that's
has to. At this point, he's got something on somebody. How this dude keeps getting jobs, I have no idea. I'm sure he's a great baseball mind. Somehow, some way, has great relationships in both the front office and on the manager level, the coach level. But holy fuck! Here's a name I think you should at least watch out for. Someone that's young, someone that I think is hot in my opinion. And I know this doesn't reflect on the performance, but I honestly would try to interview George Lombard, the bench manager coach for the Tigers, try Chris Fetter. Why not? I mean, the guy's seen baseball. He's worked with some shitty pitchers and turned. I mean, it's not his fault. Jack Flaherty should be a bullpen guy. Right? There's only so much you can do with that.
I mean, the fact that he took Jack Flaherty and made him into a trade piece that the Dodgers took, and the Tigers got a decent return for it, is testament to what he can do.
Yeah, he's done it for a couple of them.
That turd,
dude. He did it for Erod. Remember? I mean, he took a few pitchers and made them like, wow, that we can swap these guys at the deadline. That's a great call because he has. I mean, and he doesn't. I mean, look what he's done with Casey Mize's career. And everybody who speaks of him speaks incredibly highly of him. So I think, at least I think he's worth an interview, a sit down.
Oh, for sure.
So.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the standings. We were talking about how competitive we thought the AL West would be. And I'm just looking at. I mean, it's competitive. Everyone's hovering around 500, but the A's are in first place. That's a bit of a shock, right?
Wild. The homeless Athletics still.
The homeless. Yep, have a game and a half lead right now, and we're only a month in, but still.
I mean, it's kind of a bad division to start out. Cal Raleigh is now just starting to pick it up, but remember, one of my early prediction was I just don't think he's going to ever be that same player he was last year. He's a low average hitter, and it's all power with him. But if you can find ways to get him to strike out, which he'll strike out a lot,
he's good
ways to just not hit the home run, then you could totally stop Cal Raleigh any time of the day, any game.
Sure.
So that's going to be interesting to move on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this week before we go to our game of the week that we usually do.
Game of the week.
Game of the week. What do you think? What do you say we hear a word from one of our sponsors?
All right, let's do it. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned card enthusiast, the Penny Sleever is your one-stop shop for all your card protection needs. They carry everything from classic regular sleeves and versatile top loaders in multiple thicknesses, 35-point, 55-point, 75-point, 100-point, and beyond, to premium magnetic card holders and specially graded card sleeves perfect for PSA and SGC slabs. Need resealable bags, team bags, vintage sleeves, or colored top loaders? They have over 71 products in stock, all priced to help you build and protect your collection without breaking the bank. And now they're offering an exclusive promotion just for you. First-time buyers can get 10% off their entire order with promo code LONGGONE. Just visit thepennysleever.com and use that code at checkout. Don't let your valuable cards go unprotected. Shop the Penny Sleever today and see why collectors trust them with their most prized possessions. The Penny Sleever. Premium protection, penny pinching prices. I say it every week, man. Oh, there it is. He's got the product. One of these times I'm going to remember to bring my products back over and show them off here. But I appreciate, Mike, you doing that because, Penny Sleevers, they got affordable stuff at, great prices, great product, affordable shipping, anything between $0 and $59 ships for flat rate of $7. Anything $59 over is free shipping. So very personable touch. You get those nice handwritten notes when you order up a product, and they're doing it right. I watch them on Instagram. They're all over the place doing their shows up and down the East Coast there, and just a great group of people, and just a great product that they have over there. So check them out.
Check them out.
Check out the Penny Sleever. Penny pinching prices.
Penny pinching prices.
Bingo. Penny Sleever.
So this week, we do this a few times a year. We do our start, bench, or cut. I love doing these. These are so fucking fun. We do a start, bench. It's basically a version of Marry, Fuck, Kill.
Yeah, that's right. Baseball version.
We're not marrying, fucking, or killing any of these guys.
No, sorry. Not on this week's show, at least.
Not on this week's show. Tune in for a future episode.
Yeah, tune in if we move to OnlyFans. Then maybe we might do something like that.
Yeah. Times getting rough here at Long Gone.
Phone's just not ringing.
Yeah, watch Mikey spread his butt cheeks on OF.
Oh, God.
We do our version, which we take, start, bench, or cut. We take 3 players, start, bench, or cut from the past. We take players from the present, and then we do it in the future. We'll go tit for tat. Steve, I'll announce it, and then you pick it, and then I'll do it, and then if you want to say the next one, we'll just go back. Back.
Sounds good.
So,
yeah.
Starting off, we're gonna dig into the past a little bit.
Okay.
And this is overall career. We're not gonna pick a year. That just gets too complicated.
Right.
So that'd be hard. 1972, Mickey Dault. No, we don't do that shit.
Push our glasses up.
So I have overall. Mickey Dault, Robin Roberts, Johan Santana. We just assume it's at the top of their game.
Okay.
Start, bench, cut. Who we got?
Well, don't want to sound like a homer here, but I'm gonna start Mickey Lolich just because he's big game pitcher. Everyone remembers his World Series performance there. Wins 3 games, complete game, all 3 games. Outduels Bob Gibson in Game 7. But the guy also finished top 3 in Cy Young voting in 71 and 72. So it's a very durable pitcher. Can get you the strikeouts, get you the innings. So I'm starting Lolich. I'm gonna bench Johan Santana. The guy had a quality stretch. He's definitely one where you could talk about potentially on our forgotten series. He could have been one of those guys. 12-year career, but in the stretch there was just a dominating pitcher. So I'm going to bench him, and then I'm unfortunately going to cut Robin Roberts. So sorry, there's just not enough room on the team there. So Lolich, Santana, Roberts.
Great picks. I'm going to do Lolich.
Okay.
Just because he has more all-time strikeouts than Robin Roberts.
Okay.
And just everything you said. I mean, the guy's a big game pitcher. You want a guy in big game moments. That's definitely him. I'm gonna bench Robin Roberts, Hall of Famer. Can't not put him on this list. A Philly legend. And then Johan, great in his day. I just don't think he's as great as the other two. Johan Santana, I am going to cut.
Okay. Man, but the Cy Youngs, though, the 2 Cy Youngs.
Brother, I know.
It's tough. It's tough out there. But moving to toughness, let's move to the catcher position here. I like the catchers that we have listed here. We have Scary Gary Carter. And then we got Campy, Roy Campanella. And Mr. Baywatch himself, Mike Piazza. Start, bench, cut. Yeah, great references on all 3, right?
Brother, he should be cut just for that fucking cameo. He goes up to a goddamn beach with their full uniform on, practicing swings. What?
Yep. It's the Piazza
you gotta
way.
Have a long penis to be able to do that.
Totally.
Just be able to, look at me. I'm Mike fucking Piazza.
The bat actually was character generated. He was actually using his penis as a bat to practice his swing with. So
I figured Pam Anderson
had to throw an actual baseball bat in by CG because they couldn't show a penis on TV.
It makes sense. It all makes sense now.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Mike Piazza just because that, right? No,
makes sense.
Big time hitter as a catcher. Growing up, that's more nostalgic for me. Roy Campanella didn't grow up in that era, of course, but you hear the stories.
Yeah.
Started out in the Negro Leagues. His career was amazing before the car accident. So, and he was definitely throwing up Hall of Fame numbers. But I got to put Campy in there. And then I'm just going to cut Carter. That was a tough cut. I think out of all of them, he would have probably been the best leader. Because he's a guy that can absolutely rally a team. But if I'm looking at sheer playability, I'm going to go with Piazza, Campanella, and Carter. Steve, what say you?
So I'm going very similar to you, but I'm going to start Campy, Roy Campanella, just based on his line of work before the car accident there. Just a solid catcher with power, could hit for good average, and just a good leader there. Second, Mike Piazza. It's tough. Mike Piazza would have been the nostalgic pick for me, growing up here in the 90s, but I like Campy's career stats over Piazza, so Piazza goes second, and third's Gary Carter. Just like you said, great leader. Just offensively, what wasn't enough to hit the top 2 there for me. So that's what I'm going with.
Makes sense. Now the next one, we're gonna move over to first base. We do these by positions. 2 500+ home run hitters on this list, and 1 Negro League legend. Harmon Killebrew, Willie McCovey, Buck Leonard. What is your start, bench, or cut?
This is tough. I decided to start Harmon Killebrew, like you said, over 500 home runs in his career. Mammoth swing, really good offensively, and good longevity. I mean, he went from the Senators to the Twins, and just kept going. So I'm going to start Killebrew. I'm going to bench McCovey. I mean, the guy could hit blistering hits right there. If they were measuring miles per hour off the bat at that point, he'd probably be on a lot of his hits well over 100 miles an hour. The guy could just smack the ball. And then third, unfortunately, I was going more offensively here. I went with Buck Leonard, unfortunately, for the cut. Great guy. Love him in the baseball documentary, but unfortunately, he did not make my list. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do McCovey just because what he meant to the Giants at that time. Buck Leonard, I mean, if he were to make the major leagues at that, when he was in his heyday, I'm almost going with the what if. And when you hear stories of Buck Leonard, I know, we spoke with a couple people, the president of Negro League Museum, and and he was very high on Buck Leonard. I mean, the documentary, obviously, we hear about Buck Leonard. He gets confused with Buck O'Neill a lot, which is crazy. But that's true. Yeah, Buck Leonard was the man. And then I went Harmon Killebrew. Harmon was great, dude. I mean, what a fucking name. I wanted to put him there, but I guess I went with the risk of the what if, with Buck Leonard. So McCovey, Buck Leonard, and Harmon Killebrew.
And thanks for correcting me there. I got my Bucks mixed up. What the Buck, man?
I know. I used to do that too with Buck Leonard and Buck O'Neill. I was like, damn, they're both. It's like, come on, someone could have gave you like different nicknames.
A different nickname. Come on, guys.
The documentary, I think Buck O'Neill says he was nicknamed after Buck Leonard.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mistaken. So
you're right. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I'm calling old man brain on me. Anyway, let's move to second base. Let's go take a nap, shall we? With that's Nap LaJoie, Frankie Frisch, and Chase Utley. This is a tough list here, Mike. What are you thinking for start bench cut?
2 Hall of Famers and one maybe Hall of Famer one day who probably shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but he's still high on my list. I went with Nap LaJoie. I'm going to start him just because you're talking about a guy who was the counterpart or was the opposite of Ty Cobb. I mean, he ended his career with over 3,000 hits, had a 338 career average, over 1,500 RBIs, which hits all our benchmarks, won numerous batting titles, Triple Crown Hall of Famer. I'm going with Nap LaJoie. I'm starting him. Chase Utley, I put instead of Frankie Frisch. I'm going to keep him on the team just because I need the power. Yeah. If he's going to be on my roster, I need the Chase Utley power, and he was really smart in the field. And Frankie Frisch, I know a little bit about Frankie, but when you think of all-time second baseman, Frankie's not in my top 5. I'm not saying Chase Utley is either, but Chase Utley played when I grew up, and I just know a little bit more about him, and I know Frankie probably wasn't, you know what I mean? Just different games. Yep. So I'm going to go LaJoie, Utley, Frisch. What say you?
I am going to go a little switcheroo. I'm going with the sentimental pick because Utley was around when we were growing up. I'm going Chase Utley to start. Love the power. I'm going to bench Nap LaJoie and then cut Frankie Frisch because I really don't know much about him. So that's what I'm going with.
He's sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it.
Moving over to third baseman. The mustache man himself, Wade Boggs, who I think is in like 2 Hall of Fames or 3 Hall of Fames, right?
Because
he's in the Red Sox, the Rays, and the National Baseball Hall. And that's Wade Boggs, Sal Bando, who he's talked about not long ago, and Greg Nettles. I hate the way they spelled Greg.
It's a mixture of Craig and Greg.
I've never liked the way they spelled his name. Every time I see that way of spelling, it's like, wait, what? It looks like a misspelling. Yeah. Boggs, Bando, Nettles. Start bench cut. Who we got?
You know what? Just for his name alone, he's getting cut. No. I'm starting Wade Boggs. I mean, the guy, the mustache man, like you said, 3 different Hall of Fames that he's in. Just a fantastic third baseman. And then second, Sal Bando. Great player there in the 70s there on those A's teams, and kind of you think of Reggie Jackson, Raleigh Fingers, but Sal Bando is just a name there that can't win without him. So he gets benched and then cut. I don't like how you fucking spelled your name, and because of that, you're out. So Greg Nettles gets the cut.
That's too funny. That's so funny. Points deducted. It's your parents' fault. I'm gonna go Boggs. Clearly, right, the best hitter on this of these 3. Nettles, he had a little more power. Big in the 70s, 80s for sure. And then I'm gonna go Bando. I hated to cut Bando because he's in 2 Hall of Fames, but Boggs and Nettles, I think, would, if I'm looking to win a game and I need somebody backing up Boggs, I would take Nettles for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Moving on to the shortstop position. Let's go with a Nomar Garciaparra, Pee Wee Reese, and the Wizard himself, Ozzie Smith. Start bench cut. Mike, what say you?
This one was relatively easy just because where they are in the game. But I took Ozzie Smith. I need a Gold Glove at shortstop. He wasn't a great hitter by any means. He had a couple seasons where he was amazing. You and I have always said he probably shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but he's just like Andrew Jones. He's in it for his glove.
Yeah.
But Ozzie Smith, I'm going to start bench. Pee Wee Reese. I think Pee Wee Reese, a good leader on the field. He was essential to those late 40s, those 40s Dodger teams, early 50s Dodgers teams. Just a great piece there, great clubhouse guy. And then Garcia Parra, he was just good for a short amount of time. So I'm going to bench Garcia, or I'm going to cut Garcia Parra. How about you?
I'm going to start Pee Wee Reese just because I feel like his bat's a little bit better than Ozzie Smith, and he was just a great leader on those Dodger teams. So he gets the start. Ozzie Smith, again, we talked about it. He's in the Hall of Fame because all those Gold Gloves definitely was because of his fucking bat. The guy was a turd behind the plate there as a hitter, but great fielder. And cut, Nomar Garciaparra, like you said, just a small amount of time where he was actually relevant. And then and then he got kicked to the curb right before the Red Sox started winning. So that always made me laugh. So that's what I'm going with.
Who we got? Am I the one to go next? Okay. Steve, moving over to the left field. Okay. Billy Williams, Minnie Minoso, or Monty Irvin. Start bench cut.
It's tough. You know what? Always been a big Monty Irvin fan, so he's going to get the start for me, and then Minnie Minoso, the guy, the longevity on him, just to, really like what he did, so he gets the bench. And then Billy Williams, you sound way too much like Billy D. Williams, who played Lando Calrissian in the Star Wars movies, so unfortunately you get cut. You'd think that he, with my love of Star Wars, could stay on the team, but no, he gets.
He's got personal reasons. I got
personal reasons here. Exactly. I don't like how you spelled your name.
I don't like how you spelled your name.
Yeah. What about you, man?
I'm going to go with Cuban legend, one of the best Cuban players to ever play, one of the best White Sox players in the history, Minnie Minoso. I'm going to go Billy Williams, really good at the Cubs, just an overall solid player. I want to keep Monty Irvin, just the numbers don't add up for me. But he was one of the mentors to Willie Mays, but unfortunately with this team I need to win. So Minoso,
you don't need mentors on your team, huh?
No. We need players. We need guys that can win the game. Williams and Irvin.
Okay, let's move to center field. We got another Dodger here, Duke Snider. Then we got Kenny Lofton. Then we got Oscar Charleston. Start, bench, cut. What say you, Mike?
This one was really tough. It was really tough because he was amazing. As all these guys were really good in their own right. Begrudgingly, I put Oscar Charleston. I'm going to start him. He was, when you think of early Negro League players, when Negro Leagues first started, he was the essential star. With the Indianapolis ABCs, move over to the Lincoln Stars, Chicago American Giants, Detroit Stars, blah, blah, blah. He was really, really good. He could do two-way ball at sometimes, good batted left, through left. He was one of the early, eye-popping, stars of that league. So I'm going to put him, and we don't know his true stats, which makes, I like the mystery there. So I'm going to go Charleston. Duke Snider, there was a three-headed beast in New York between him, Willie Mays, and Mickey Mantle in the 50s and 60s. So I'm going to put Snider on the bench, and then Lofton, probably the better leadoff man out of both of these guys. But I just, the numbers aren't there for me, so I'm going to cut Lofton. What say you?
Same. Yeah, just a flippity-flop. I went with Duke Snider to start, just because, those numbers and his longevity going from Brooklyn to Los Angeles, just a great player. Oscar Charleston, again, like you said, we don't know all of his stats, so there's some good mystery to it, but the stats are still better than Kenny Lofton, unfortunately. So, Lofton, again, we talked about it with Nomar Garciaparra. Lofton had a nice little stretch where he was a really, could steal bases, could get on base and all that, but just not the longevity there. So unfortunately, Kenny Lofton gets the cut.
Moving over to right field now to round out the outfield. Okay. Mel Ott, Dwight Evans, and Rocky Colavito. I think we remember a guy trying to give up a lot of Rocky Colavito cards for a long time.
Join us from Legend Sports and Games. It's going to be Lou Brown. All of a sudden he pops in. What up, guys?
Total inside joke for Steve and I, but
totally still have that Rocky Colavito set.
Yeah, if anybody needs Rocky Colavito cards, we know a guy.
Yes, we do. I'll let you know. I was actually at Legends a couple of weeks ago. I should have looked to see if he still had more of those Rocky Colavito cards.
You know he does, dude.
Oh yeah. They're probably all in his office too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
the leftovers. Yeah. Anyway, I talk a good game by Rocky Colavito, but actually I'm going to have him start just because I like the power.
Yeah,
his offensive numbers were incredibly good. So I'm having Colavito to start. I'm going to have bench Mel Ott. And then Dwight Evans, enjoyed him, great outfield there, not to be confused with Darrell Evans, but Red Sox Dwight Evans, quality player. Just I like Ott and Colavito more, so I'm gonna cut Dwight Evans. How about you?
I'm gonna go Mel Ott just because he's the perennial Hall of Famer. A guy that almost hit 3,000, had 3,000 hits, but he hit 511 home runs, ended with a 304 batting average, 1,860 RBIs. He is exactly what you want as a Hall of Famer. So, and he just one of the best one of the best coordination guys I've ever seen. Just for early, sometimes I want to say that Ted Williams took a lot of this guy's mechanics into his own, which doesn't get talked about enough. But Mel Ott, I'm going to start. Colavito, love that power. I totally agree with you. Yep. Rocky Colavito goes, I'm going to bench. And then Dwight, just the numbers aren't there. Good player for a short amount of time. Dwight Evans, I'm cutting.
Okay. Let's round out our past with our DH. We got Big Papi, David Ortiz. And then we got Brian Downing and Hal McRae. What do you got, Mike?
Easy. Big Papi, Hal McRae, Downing. That's easy.
Yeah, same here. Clutch postseason performer David Ortiz, so he gets the start for me. Hal McRae, on those great Royals teams there in the 70s and 80s, he gets the bench. And then Brian Downing, deuces, you got cut. So
moving over to the present, it's where they stand today, not the past. So we're talking
past.
There's a lot here. Let's go with pitchers starting out in today's game: Logan Webb, Jacob deGrom, Casey Mize. An interesting trio there. Start, bench. Got it.
I'm still starting deGrom. He still shows he's got some left here. Still a quality starter. So give me Jacob deGrom. I'm going to bench Logan Webb. Just the durability. He's shown me more than Casey Mize. Casey Mize has been kind of up and down. Yeah, he's turned it around. To start out this season, was an all-star last year, but just too much inconsistency. So Casey Mize gets the cut.
Damn, now you're having me second guess my fucking picks.
That's why it's a fun game.
I'm going to start Jacob deGrom. I'm going to bench Casey Mize because I feel like he's taken off. I feel like he's going to take off and come into his own, which he has been, but you're right, the inconsistency still not stand there. And Logan Webb, to me, is just boring. He's a good pitcher, but...
he's boring.
He's a good pitcher.
Vanilla.
Right? He's like a vanilla Kevin Gausman, who's vanilla himself, right? So to me, it's like he's good, but I love the plus stuff that Mize throws. So deGrom start, bench Mize, cut Webb.
Okay, let's move on to the catching position. We got Shea Langeliers.
I think that every time I see that name.
And then Drake Baldwin, start, bench, cut. Mike, what are we looking at?
I'm going to go with Langeliers just because of the power.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit more about him in terms of where his game is now. We know what kind of player he's becoming.
Right.
And what he is doing with this athletics team, being the leader, which, remember, we were talking to Brody. And he was saying that through the House Always Wins podcast, and he was saying that this is the longest tenured guy on their squad. So
hard to believe, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Langeliers, Baldwin, Diaz. I got to bench Diaz.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I feel you. I'm gonna start Baldwin. Reigning NL Rookie of the Year. I like what he's doing. Atlanta seems to have found something, another special catcher there. And then, like I said, with the power of Langeliers, I'm going to bench him. And then, there's no room at the end. Yadier Diaz gets the cut.
Moving over to first base, interesting lineup here. I think they were all on our fantasy teams one year or another.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Rafael Devers, who used to be a third baseman, Michael Busch, and Nick Kurtz. Start, bench, cut. Who we got?
I'm going to start Nick Kurtz. great showing last year. Figured things out. Kind of got off to a slow start this year, but he seems to be figuring it out again. So I'm starting Kurtz. Love the power there. Michael Busch for the Cubbies. I'm gonna bench. Younger. I like his upside. And Rafael Devers. I just don't like his attitude. It took him a bit just to finally embrace being a first baseman. So if it takes you that long to embrace it, you're not on my fucking team. So you're gone.
Personal reasons, love it.
First personal reasons again.
I'm going to go Big Amish. I'm going to go Devers just because I need that power on the bench.
Okay.
I just need him in general. And it's just, I agree. Sometimes he's a bastard, but at the same time, put up numbers. So Bush, I'm going to cut just because of the inconsistency.
Okay. Moving on to second base, we got Xavier Edwards, Cubs Nico Horner, and then Bryson Stott, start bench cut. What you going with?
Fucking easy one for me. Easy. Until Xavier Edwards can prove that he can take that next ascension to his game, he's going to be cut for me. So it's going to be Horner start. Stott, who has been kind of a consistent guy through his career. Ups and downs for sure, but you know where you stand with him. Stott I'm going to bench, and then Edwards I'm going to cut.
Okay, I'm going to do the same. Nico Horner I'm starting. Bryson Stott I'm going to bench, and then Xavier Edwards until you can take that next step, you're getting cut. So there you go.
Third baseman, Junior Caminero for the Rays. Max Muncy for the Dodgers. And
not
Carlos
the Athletics,
not the Athletics. And Carlos Correa for the Astros. Who do you got?
This is tough. I mean, obviously, not going to I'll call a spade here. Correa gets cut. The guy's pretty much washed up at this point.
Yeah,
it comes down to Muncy and Caminero of who I want to start or bench. I'm going to start actually Max Muncy. I like what he's doing so far this year. Look at fantasy a lot. He's always right at the top of the waiver pickouts. People are liking what he's doing. Junior Caminero got kind of off to a slower start this year, but a decent year last year. But so far this year, I'm going to go start Muncy, bench Caminero, and then deuces to Carlos Correa.
Yeah, ours isn't too much different. I'm going to start Caminero just because the guy's a future star. He's a very, very much like a Rafael Devers type, but he has a better glove, I want to say. Has kind of weird at times. When I watch his swing and the way it sounds coming off his bat, it reminds me of Big E. I don't want to give him that yet, but
you heard it here first, folks. All right,
yeah, it's kind of like Adrian Beltre, Miggy kind of feel to him. Caminero, I'm going to start Muncy, old reliable. When you look back at these great Dodger teams, he's gonna be the Yogi Bear of those teams. Like you never won a championship without Max Muncy. And Carlos Correa, I think Steve, he injured himself a long time ago, and it got progressively worse because he wanted to get paid. I think that's a study. Someone's got to study that because the drop
30 for 30 right there.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Yeah, man. Okay,
yeah, he's cut for sure.
Let's move to shortstop. We got Geraldo Perdomo, Zach Neto, and Corey Seager, start bench cut. What do we got?
Seager, if he's healthy. I know this could be an easy cut or bench for us.
Right there, yeah.
Bro, these names could go either way with us. Seager, I'm just going to start him just because we know how great he is when he's healthy. Neto, because the ceiling's there. He can meet that ceiling. He just needs to lock in a little bit more to take off, but it's right there. He's super young, so it's coming. And Perdomo, I like him a lot. I feel like he's just a little bit lower than like Ellie De La Cruz with that dynamic power and that hitability and things like that. But he's a very solid shortstop. But for winning purposes, Seager, if he's healthy, Neto, Perdomo.
Okay. I'm also going to go Seager if he's healthy because we know what we get when he is out there on the field playing.
Yeah.
I'm going to bench Perdomo, and then I'm going to cut Neto. Like you said, the ceiling's there, but I want to see more. So Seager, Perdomo, Neto for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving over to left field.
Left field.
Jarren Duran, Kyle Stowers, or Ian Happ. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Ian Happ to start. I like what he's doing more offensively than Jarren Duran right now. Duran potentially could be a trade chip for the Red Sox. So I'm gonna start Happ. I'm gonna bench Duran because he has shown that he can put up the numbers. So I would like to keep him around on the bench. And then Stowers, I'm gonna give him the boot. He's gonna get cut. How about you?
Yeah, I like Duran. He's kind of all the Red Sox have that is kind of like the most experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could really put a team on his back. I'm not saying he can carry a team, but right now he's going to be like their superstar for the time being unless they trade him away. But anyways, Duran, I'm going to start. Happ, old reliable for the Cubs, gonna bench him, and then Stowers. He just came back from an injury, I believe. They tried him at first base. He did pretty well for the Marlins. Had great power numbers last year. I haven't seen enough yet. So Duran, Happ, Stowers.
Okay.
Stowers.
Let's move to center field. I got one of our favorite players right here. Javier Baez, Andy Pages, and Trent Grisham. Start, bench, cut. What do you got?
Pages. I mean, in a team full of superstars, he's like their best hitter right now, which is incredible.
Right. Uh-huh.
I'm going to start him. Kind of came out of nowhere. Trent Grisham, a really good signing last year by the Yankees, a good re-signing by them in this offseason. I think he found his team. Good leader, clean guy, I mean, he just real toolsy guy. Really like him. I'm sorry, Baez. I think he's I hate to say it, but he's the most undisciplined hitter I've ever seen in baseball. I'm going to cut him. He's just so undisciplined.
Boo, but he's an all-star starter last year. I'm going to start Pages, like you said. I agree with that. And shockingly, I'm going to bench Baez. All-star last year. And yeah, I know. Clutch your pearls and fall. He's a very undisciplined hitter, but he hasn't been hitting that bad. I think he's in the 270s, up around 280 average-wise. So it's right around Baez-esque for, his prime years. So, he's going to swing and miss at those off-speed pitches well outside, but he's going to connect and get you those home runs too. So I like it. Plus, I like what he does in center field too. He's a very good defender. So I'm going to put him on the bench. And then, unfortunately, I love the mustache when he had it there. Trent Grisham, he's going to get cut. So sorry, Trent.
Moving over to right field, Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker, Corbin Carroll. Who we got?
I think this one was pretty easy for me. Starting Corbin Carroll. I mean, out of the three, best player here, has the offensive numbers, can play defense, drive and run. Just a great when he's healthy, a fantastic player. I'm going to bench Kyle Tucker. Yeah, he's off to a bit of a slower start after signing that contract with the Dodgers, but we know what he can do. Again, when healthy, he has stretches where he does get injured, but when he's on the field playing, he can be a fantastic player. And unfortunately, not enough room at the end. So Seiya Suzuki, he gets the cut for me.
Same. Corbin Carroll's amazing. Kyle Tucker, slow start, but we know what he is. And Seiya Suzuki. I mean, if you're on Lucky Rebel, those would be the easy bets to take for best players. Who you're starting in right field. Yeah.
Yep. Well, here we are. It's DH. As we round out the present, we got Ryan O'Hearn, Kerry Carpenter, and Eugenio Suarez. Start, bench, cut. What are we thinking, Mike?
Suarez, just because he's done it longer and has shown the ability to do it more. So I'm gonna start him. Carpenter's big game guy. I mean, he comes up in big moments. That's why he stays on this team. And O'Hearn, not enough. Hot wife. That's about it. Cut.
Hot wife. Personal reasons on that one, huh? All right. I'm going to actually start Kerry Carpenter. He's been off to a skittish start, but seems to have turned it around recently. The bat seems to fire up, and like you said, he comes up big in those big games. I mean, I think of the Seattle series last year when the Tigers needed a clutch home run, he was giving it to you. So I'm going to start Carpenter. I'm going to bench Suarez. I want that pop coming off the bench, and Suarez shown that you can have it. It's not really going to hit for a high average, but like the hit potential on him. And then he's got a hot wife, but he's got to go. Ryan O'Hearn, he gets the cut for me.
Kicking rocks. Moving over to future. We're back. We're in the rounding out start, bench, or cut with their future. These are the players who are either rookies or guys that are about to come up. I mean, they're right on the cusp. So starting out with pitchers, Steve, we got Bubba Chandler for the Pirates, Andrew Painter for the Phillies, Parker Messick, who's having a great year so far for the Guardians. Start, bench, cut. What you got?
Well, let me get my crystal ball out here for this one. Whenever we go to the future, really, there is no wrong answer here. But I'm gonna go with I'm gonna start Bubba Chandler because he's had some real clunkers. His last start was very much a clunker. I think he had like 6 runs in 4 innings or something. So, but when he's on, he's striking people out, and he's the Robin to Paul Skeen's Batman in that Pirates rotation. So I think the future's bright for him. So start Chandler. I'm going to bench Messick, and then I'm going to cut Andrew Painter. So there you go.
I'm going to start Bubba Chandler just because I think he has a higher ceiling than both of these guys. Great player. I wished that the Pirates would have kept him as a two-way player. Like when they drafted him, he was just going to always be a pitcher. But there were those talks like, "Oh, we can Ohtani you,"
Yeah.
He was a great hitter.
You could be Ohtani too.
Oh, they should have did it, man. They just missed opportunity. Painter, just because he has one of the best fastballs I've ever seen. His velocity's up there. And it's just low-hanging fruit for me. And then Messick, who's having a great year, is 3-0 with, I think, a 1.73 ERA. Great year. So I'm just going to bench him, even though he's doing really well.
All right, I feel you. Moving on here to the catching position, a guy that has no relation to me, Harry Ford, Sam Basalia, that we know of. Yeah, let me get on Ancestry, who's not a sponsor, but if you'd like to sponsor us, that'd be great. Sam Basalio and Kyle Teal, start bench cut.
I've been following Harry Ford since before he got drafted by the Seattle Mariners, and then he went in a trade. So, but I think the upside's so good on him. Sucks he's coming up in the national system just because he's got to compete with that. But I still, he's got a couple people in front of him, but I think Harry Ford will be a better catcher when it's all said and done. So Harry Ford, I'm going to start. Basello, we know his scouting report. We've talked about him plenty of times on this podcast with the Orioles. And then Kyle Teal, just not enough. I haven't seen enough. Late riser, but I'm going to cut him.
Okay. I'm also starting Harry Ford, for reasons you said, and I love his last name. So,
of course.
Personal reasons there. Kyle Teal, I'm going to bench. It's that uncertainty. I'm taking a gamble here. I'm on Lucky Rebel. I'm placing that bet, and I'm betting on Kyle Teal for my bench, and then Basallo there. Unfortunately, he gets the cut.
Moving over to first base, Bryce Eldridge with the Giants, Sal Stewart, who can play multiple positions, but first being one of them, and Charlie Condon, not Condom.
Yeah,
what do you got, Steve? Start bench or cut?
You took my joke away with the condom.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it was nothing.
I'm going to start Sal Stewart, and I'm not just saying that because the guy lit the Tigers up all weekend in the Cincinnati Reds series. It seemed like every time he was up, he was getting hits and shit. But I like his upside here. Definitely has the power. So I'm starting Stewart. I'm going to bench Eldridge, and then. Because we don't use condoms over here, so Condon gets the cut. I'm still going to say,
Probably smart because he's in the Rockies farm system.
Yeah, so that's where people go to die, is in the Rockies farm system, right?
I'm actually going to start Condom.
Oh, okay.
I remember when he got drafted by the Rockies a couple years back, out of Georgia. Just a guy he reminds me a lot of Mickey Tettleton, like the hit ability there. The good Mickey Tettleton years.
The good Tettleton years.
He has a little bit of like some Andrew Vaughn in him, but I think his ceiling's a lot higher. So Condon is going to be, I'm going to start him. Okay. Sal Stewart was tough to bench because I kind of wanted to start him, but Sal Stewart, I think we're all said and done. He's going to have a really good career. We're going to be talking about him for a while. And Bryce Eldridge, just not enough for him to keep on starting or on this roster. So I'm going to come.
Okay, I gotcha. Moving on to second base. Sick of dick. All right. Anyway, Sam Antonacci. Okay. I'm going to go with that. Christian Moore, and a guy who's getting set to. I think he's debuting tonight. Tuesday night as we record this. Travis Bazzana. Start bench cut. Mike, who are we going with?
Easy one. Travis Bazzana, just a really good all-around hitter. Christian Moore, another very good hitter, can play second, third. He can move around in the infield. I think essentially he could be a third baseman over Yoan Moncada, but second base he might go towards if Kyron Paris isn't there in the future. We're talking future, but I love his ability, his ceiling a little bit more than Sam Antonacci. So Bazzana start, bench Moore, cut Sam. Who do you got?
I'm also starting Bazzana, which is a great name because I'm My mother's maiden name is Bazan, so it's very similar to
He's
Bazana.
Australian.
So
Is she Australian?
she is not. She's very much Dutch.
Ah.
But again, I like Travis Bazana's upside here. I think he's gonna do good things, and then Antonacci is gonna get my bench, and then I'm gonna cut Christian Moore.
Nice.
Yes.
Moving over, or no, is it me or is it you? It's me.
I can't.
Yeah,
it's you. Yeah, I was
moving
gonna
over
say.
to third base. Hayu Lee, Brady House, Kobe Mayo, names we both know. Who you got?
I'm going to start Kobe Mayo. I know he's been kind of up and down, but I like the potential here. So he gets the start for me. I'm going to bench Brady House. Just because Hayu Lee, his glove is a fucking terrible. He had one good hit in the weekend series against the Reds. So I'm benching House and Lee. Deuces, man, you got the cut.
I remember his first game up when he fucking made those 2 errors. Everybody's like, okay, you can send him back down. Now
you can send him back.
Poor guy.
This was fun. All right.
I'm gonna go Brady House. Been watching him since he was in high school, not in a creepy way, just scouting line.
With my binoculars.
100 yards from a school. No,
yeah, totally.
Brady House, very Arenado-esque. I see a lot of that in his game. Very young, and he's holding his own right now in the majors. So I'm gonna stick with House. Kobe Mayo, hit or miss prospect, high ceiling, of course. I think he has a lower floor. And then Hayu Lee, just because I think he's kind of one-dimensional. So those.
Totally. Let's move on to shortstop. Totally. We got Professor McGonigal here, Kevin McGonigal, Colson Montgomery, and J.J. Weatherholt. Start, bench, cut. What are we doing?
All great youngsters, really good, all doing pretty good.
Can't go wrong here. Yep.
We're gonna start McGonigal. He's proved to be the star rookie so far. Knock on wood, star rookie. Let's go. Gonna start him. I'm gonna bench Colson Montgomery. He's becoming a star, just like the Southside Samurai. They're becoming stars on with the Chicago White Sox, and Colson Montgomery. We're gonna see him in a full season now. He's been really good. And Weatherholt's the next generation of St. Louis Cardinals players to potentially lead that team. I'm gonna cut him, but because I think McGonigal and Montgomery have a little bit more juice in the tank to my liking of what I want in my lineup.
All right. Well, I'm agreeing with you. I'm going to start McGonigal. I think he's up there first, if not near the top, leading rookies in hits right now. Unlucky Rebel, he's probably right there at the tops for odds of AL Rookie of the Year. Just signed that contract. This guy's legit. Something different. Listening to the ball go, hit his bat. I was saying that when he was with the Whitecaps. It's a different sound than a lot of other players. So give him McGonigal to start. I'm going to bench J.J. Weatherholt just because I like him just a little bit more than Colson Montgomery, and then obviously I'm going to cut Colson Montgomery. But it's like picking hairs here to see who because these are 3 great players. So
yeah,
that's what I'm going with.
Rounding it out with the outfield, right?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's your turn. I'm sorry, I'm losing track.
Well, it's been a long haul, Steve. So it comes to an end now.
All right,
we don't have DHs. You can't really say who's going to be a rookie DH. That just doesn't make sense. And you can't do it by position. It's one big outfield here. So Chase DeLauder, Max Clark, Carson Benj of the Mets. Who we got finalized?
Make me sound like a homer here. I'm going to start Max Clark because I think compared to these 3, there's the upside here. He did have a bit of a rocky spring, but he's tearing it up in Toledo right now, and I think it's a question of not if, but when he's going to get the call up for the Tigers. It's going to happen at some point this year. So give me Max Clark to start. I like Chase DeLauder. He's been a fun feel-good story here to start the year with his home runs and stuff. So I'm going to put him on the bench, and then Carson Benj, he is going to get cut for me.
Benj is not going to be on your bench?
No, there we go. Yeah, I was thinking about that one too.
Max Clark, body of work in the minors has been really good. Potential 5-tool player. Carson Benj, good college player. I just kind of... I think we're going to see his best first. And DeLauder, who started out really good, but I'm going to cut him just because I just feel like we haven't seen the best of Carson Benj yet. And I'm more excited about that. So Clark, Benj, DeLauder.
Bench and binge, huh?
That's it, Steve.
That's it.
Oh,
That was
a long
fun.
one.
Yeah, I know, right? Right. Get a cigarette after that one. Ooh, that was a marathon.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Oh, it was good, but I love doing that. We do that a couple of times a year
Yeah.
here. Always a good time. And speaking of a good time, we have a fun interview that we lined
Yeah,
up
bro.
for y'all to listen to. This guy is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard about him all over the YouTube and following MLB Network. Being
Yep.
on all sorts of the platforms there. The Pitching Ninja. It's
Yeah,
quite a fun chat.
Well, it was great talking to Rob Friedman, the pitching ninja, just a really down to earth guy, a guy that gave a different perspective of the game. He,
Mhm.
you asked some really interesting questions. And I always thought that, like, some of your questions you asked, I thought he'd answer them differently, but he went the other way. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's an," and he give you a perspective of why. This guy,
Mhm.
he just, he's well spoken.
Yeah.
His breakdowns are really good. You could tell he's a master of his craft,
Yeah.
and so much so that major leaguers get advice from him, which is
Yeah. That's
fantastic. So
awesome.
he's kind
Yeah.
of like a muse, kind of,
Mhm.
right? So
I mean,
it's
if you have Tarek Skubal writing a quote in your book
insane.
that just came out, you're doing something right, right?
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we were very blessed to get him on our show, and it was a ball having him. So
Mhm.
enjoy our interview with Rob Friedman, the pitching ninja. All right, this is the big one today. If you've watched baseball in the last 5 years, you've 100% seen this guy's work. The man responsible for making pitchers look absolutely filthy on your timeline, the creator of Pitching Ninja, Rob Friedman. Rob, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Like, I think pitchers made themselves look filthy. I just highlight them.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
mean, right before we started, I kind of said, you're kind of the godfather of, and like I said, not to age you, but you're kind of, I mean, you've seen all these people, us included, coming out with baseball content. And I want to say you're one of the first. I mean, there's a couple others, John Boy, those guys, but I want to say you're one of the first to really put it on a center stage on the social media age and the YouTube age and blast off. So do you how do you see yourself like with that? Do you see yourself as being like a big integral part of a lot of these content creators in the baseball realm? Do you see him as being like the godfather yourself?
And it sounds like I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Right, put out the ring.
Yeah, right.
Just the ring.
Look how they massacred my boy. Yeah, I mean, I get you can look at it that way. Like, back in the day, I was the first guy. Like, I got banned by MLB, suspended from Twitter back in the day, and actually fought it and had them. They changed their social media policy because of that, which I thought was cool and actually good of them because they recognize the fact that all of us are necessary to make the sport great. And it kind of opened the door to something they should have been doing anyway, because not one person is responsible for the growth of baseball that we've seen. We all are. And I think that's really cool that they recognize it and helped everybody, kind of go through that door now. And I think we're all like lifting the game up, which is great.
Just going a little bit on your background. You did some coaching in high school, baseball, youth, and now you're the pitching ninja. What problems were you trying to solve with your video breakdowns? How'd you go from coaching to actually going into these video breakdowns?
Yeah, I really have no idea. I mean, I just woke up one day. So what I was doing is like I was learning stuff kind of on the fly, and I was lucky enough back in the day when I started coaching to be in a message board with guys like Ben Brewster from Tread Athletics and Kyle Bodie from Driveline, and we were all basically trying to figure out pitching at that time. It was years and years ago, and all asking the same questions, breaking down the same folks. And I had been coaching and I was like, someday I'm not going to coach. So I'm just going to start sharing stuff on social media just because I figured like nobody's as obsessive as I am. And I wanted to save people some time and kind of also view like baseball as kind of a rich kid sport. And that kind of makes me feel bad. So I wanted to break out of that and give folks information for free. And it just started growing. Like I had no plans on doing any of this. I mean, shoot, I started my own internet company. I was a lawyer back in the day. I didn't think I was going to be like Mr. Social Media pitching guy, but it just turned out that way. And it's really kind of cool to look back on it.
Why pitching? Why was
Dude, I
pitching the
have no-
forefront? Like the first thing you thought of?
Yeah, a lot of it comes from like things like golf. So to me, a pitcher is in 100% control of everything up until the ball leaves his hand. So when the ball leaves his hand, sure, the hitter can hit it. But unlike other sports, the pitcher's really on offense. They have the ball, and it's up to the hitter to be the counterpuncher and to react. So my thought is if you can do everything perfectly and throw the ball exactly where you want to with the amount of spin and location that you want it to be in, the pitcher should be successful. And I've always liked pitching. So it was kind of in my head made a lot of sense to kind of help people through it that way.
When you're breaking down a pitch, what do you think separates a filthy pitch from just a good pitch?
It's kind of, you know it when you see it. Like some guys have the ridiculous ability to spin the baseball. Those are always fun. Like you see balls that are just moving something like you've never seen before, east to west, north to south. So it's almost, after I've seen so many pitches over these years, I can see it right away. But it's a combination of, it could be anything from velocity to location to the batter's reaction to umpire's reaction, pitcher's reaction, or just the nasty stuff.
I mean, fun question here. Who's your pitching Mount Rushmore? I mean, if you could choose your
all
Rushmore,
time.
all time. We'll do all time. It'd be easy to say the last 10 years, but I want to know your all time.
So Pedro, Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson, and that fourth spot goes back and forth. Like historically, I'd say Tom Seaver was really important and one of the all-time greats, and I think it's probably underrated by fans. They don't realize like how he was thought of among his peers. So I'd probably put Tom Seaver up there just for historical, kind of hat tip.
Nice. Sure.
I want to talk about fantasy here a little bit.
That's a big
Michael
part of
and
our
I
show.
always have our debate. Yeah, we have our fantasy factory on our show, and we recently had our draft a little bit before the season started. And we always debate whether to select a pitcher in the first round of the draft. You usually go with the hitter who plays every day. A pitcher only goes, once every 5 days. So what is your, take on it? Pitcher like a Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, are they, worthy? Are their stuff nasty enough to be a first round draft pick in your fantasy leagues?
I mean, to me, yes, those are two very consistent pitchers. I say that, and then you see how Paul started his season.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks in part to O'Neill Cruz not fielding the ball.
Right.
But I think guys like that are people you can bank on. I understand it though, because pitching, it can be random, right? Like one guy is awesome for 1 year, and then the next year you just don't hear of him, or the injury factor always comes in. So that's kind of where I'm playing it. I understand the hesitancy, but I would go with a horse when you got a chance.
Is there any pitchers right now, rookies coming up, your Norman McLean, your Bubba Chandler? Is there anybody that, from all the tape you've seen, is there anybody that we're going to be hearing about a lot, and that's going to be, in your opinion, dominating the game in the next 5 years, 3 to 5 years?
Well, I mean, there are guys in a league that I think will absolutely be dominating the league. I mean, you mentioned Nolan McLean is one of the guys that when he pitches, I drop everything, because he is literally made for what I do, which is just eye-popping stuff. Chase Burns is a guy that got overlooked last year because people just stared at his ERA instead of understanding his stuff. His stuff is off the charts filthy. So I would expect him to continue to have great seasons, and is probably going to lead the Reds to a bunch of outstandingly pitched games. And when Hunter Green comes back, that combo is nasty. You mentioned Bubba Chandler, combining him and getting to watch Paul Skeens' work ethic every day, combining with his stuff. You're talking 100-mile-an-hour heaters and 94-mile-an-hour changeups and stuff. Yeah, that's a guy you're going to have to look out for as well. Andrew Painter, who made his debut, clearly looks like a future ace and has command over everything. He's a guy that I've been watching for years. It seems like he's been up for forever, and he just made his debut.
Yeah.
So those are guys that I'm kind of focused on. Less focused on, like, I watch minor league games. It's very hard to know when someone's going to come up or not. So that, I watch a lot of college baseball too, and there are guys that impress me, like Dylan Flora, very good pitcher who I think will do well in the majors when it comes time.
Okay. looking at your book recently came out here the past week or so. Unhittable. You got some shout outs from pitchers in there. Pitchers like Tarek Skubal, shout out local. Detroit here, go Tigers. Obviously you've made an impact on big league pitchers. What's the most surprising example of a pitcher using your content to make a real change?
Skubal's one of them. Like Skubal back in college, and this is a kind of an interesting story. Back in the day, I was coaching high school, just volunteer pitching coach in high school, and our head coach ended up coaching at Seattle University and had a pitcher on their team that was injured, had Tommy John, and just wanted to know how he can make changes and what he should look at. So he handed him the phone, and that guy was Tarek Skubal. And I just remembered the name because it's not a common name.
Right.
Talking to him years later, he was talking to me about how much that meant to him, just like being able to talk to me at that time. And then also how he used my Dropbox on X to try to mirror Aroldis Chapman's mechanics. And you don't see it when you look at him, but he tried to feel what Aroldis Chapman was feeling. And he credits that to one reason why he throws so hard. So I thought that was really cool to hear. Yu Darvish, the man of like a million different pitches, once DM'd me to get Shane Bieber's knuckle curve grip, which is one of my favorite stories because I think Yu Darvish is a pitching savant. And then the next day, like put it into practice and had like 13 whiffs on it. So, and gave me a shout out in the post game press conference. So that was really cool. But there's lots of stories. Ryan Kirkring just picked up a pitch grip from my YouTube channel. George Kirby picked up his splitter grip from my Kevin Gosman interview. So lots of these things go on, and I just enjoy all of it. Like I never thought I'd be doing this stuff. And every time I hear something like that, it's like, it's really cool.
Have you ever, okay, so yeah, you have a lot of pitchers that you connect with and that really follow your work, and you them, of course. I'm going to ask on the other side of it, has anybody been pissed off? Like, hey, dude, what the fuck? Like, don't give away my arsenal. Don't give away my secret. Or the maybe they thought you were wrong. Have you ever had anything like that?
Well, generally it's from the interviews with the pitchers. So it's hard for me to be wrong unless they're lying to me, but which can happen. The only guy in the history of me doing this stuff where I asked somebody for a grip and he did not give me his pitch grips is Jacob deGrom. And I appreciated that because I'm like, dude, you're the GOAT. Like, you don't want to give them, I'm not going to beg for them. You keep them to yourself. And it's not like anybody else can take that grip and throw a 95-mile-an-hour slider anyway, but I respect it.
Sure. With MLB moving towards implementing the ABS strike zone here, which pitchers' archetypes benefit the most, and which do you think lose their edge?
Good question. I would say mostly guys that really understand the strike zone, like George Kirby with a challenge yesterday was ridiculous. And we all know how well George Kirby commands the baseball. Thought that was really impressive. Guys that throw slow stuff, then clip the top of the zone, big breaking stuff. I think it helps. Someone like Chris Bassett, I can see making good benefit of it. Matthew Liberatore had a big curveball that clipped the top of the zone and was able to get a challenge and get that right. Or you have the East-West guys that they barely touches the zone, and you see the catcher dive for it. So I would say guys like Nolan McLean, somebody with big sweeping, breaking stuff that you can throw a pitch that just touches it and ends up way off the plate that an umpire might not call, but it's kind of a strike. So those are the kind of big ones I'm looking for.
Do you ever see, because I mean your knowledge of this goes pretty deep. Do you ever, and I always kind of look for this too, but I don't know if I have the same kind of eyes you have towards this. Can you notice when you're saying, okay, retirement soon for this guy, there's a little bit off of his, it doesn't spin as good anymore, or it's the velocity. Can you tell when a guy's either bullpen bound from being a starter or retirement bound from just being in the league? Can you see that?
Generally, yes. You can see them just being less sharp. It's usually a velo drop. Sometimes the ability to spin it, but I've seen guys also come back from it. And they maybe had a year slump. And you have to be able to, obviously there's an aging curve. Otherwise pitchers would pitch forever. And it's almost always the velocity that goes first, because if you talk to any pitcher that's retired, they'll still say, I could still dot a gnat's ass, but it was the velocity that caused him to go down. Then you hear those same guys argue, well, pitching isn't about velocity. Well, if it is, then why aren't you pitching in the major leagues anymore? So it is, at some point, it's not just command. You have to actually be able to make the hitter make a quick decision. So it's either about tunneling or throwing it really hard. So yeah, it's usually, you can tell based on big velo drops.
Piggybacking off that real quick, Steve and I, we are Tigers fans, and we watch obviously a lot of Jack Flaherty. And Jack Flaherty, I can't tell, in your opinion, I mean, sometimes he looks really good, right? But then you notice there's sometimes where he can't make it to 50 pitches really consistently. And what do you think with Jack Flaherty? Is it a consistency issue because of his injury past, or is it like, okay, maybe like he's peaked at 30? I mean, where do you put like guys like him? I mean, do you see like what do you think could be going on there?
For him, I can always tell if he's going to have a good game by his breaking stuff. If his breaking stuff, there's just a sharpness to it when he's on, and you're like, oh, he's going to strike out a ton. Yeah. And when he's on, he can strike out a lot of folks. But that's the thing that jumps out to me is his ability to spin it. And it's that's one of those guys where I know it right away, or you don't, or you see it that doesn't have it that day. And that's my first takeaway is just watch his breaking stuff. If he's got it, it's going to be a long day for hitters.
Okay. Speaking of hitters, do you think hitters are actually behind because of pitch quality, or because organizations now optimize pitch usage and sequencing better than they have in the past?
It's a combination of things, and that's is one of the keys to my book Unhittable. So I talk about how pitchers have been engineered in today's game. You look at it back in the day, you had great pitchers, obviously, like Bob Gibson. I mentioned Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, who could throw a ball through a barn door. You had guys that were they made it, but a lot of them didn't actually know why, and you couldn't replicate it. So you'd luck into a nasty pitch. Hey, when I grip it like this, it moves a lot, but you didn't know why. And if you don't know why, it makes it harder to repeat and harder to teach. So today, with biomechanics and slow-mo cameras that break things down to thousands of frames per second, the ability to know exactly how much a pitch moves, how fast it's going, heat maps to know where hitters' weaknesses are. It is really tough to be a hitter nowadays because pitchers have been engineered to beat you. And as I mentioned, pitcher has a baseball, the hitter's reacting. So if you have all this information and you've optimized your arsenals by knowing what your weaknesses are, maybe I need to add a cutter, maybe I need to add this to fill out the map of my pitches. Man, there's never been a worse time to be a hitter. And I talked to hitters in my book too about how they would catch up. Someone like Chipper Jones told me he would hit 200 in today's game because of how hard pitchers are throwing and how nasty their off-speed stuff is. So, obviously Chipper would do better than that. Chipper was an outstanding hitter, but to hear him say that was like, whoa, like even he's seeing it.
I'm gonna kind of go off on the personal side of you off your book. Why now? Why was it? Why did you think it was a good time to come out with your book, Unhittable? Right, it's called Unhittable: How Technology Mavericks and Innovators Engineered. Right, I mean, the title is basically what the book's about, obviously.
Yep.
But why now? Why come out with Unhittable?
So it's really, I get asked a lot of times the same question, like, what's going on? Are pitchers really that good? Or guys saying, back in my day, we used to be able to do this, and hitters today stink. And I wanted to explain, like I go back and forth between history, so looking at historical pitchers and how they were taught and what was focused on, to today's game, and show like the difference in mindset, access to technology, training stuff. It's way different from back in the day, and it's not a slam on any pitcher from back then, because again, if they had the technology we have today, they might have been even better. You might have seen a better Nolan Ryan had he had access to this technology that we have today. So, but it's more trying to understand why we see so many of these guys and really opening up. It's designed for people that have watched baseball for years, but also people that are coming up. Like if you're learning the game, you want to see how hard these guys work and what different things they use to get better. It's not a coaching book per se. It's not like I would give this to a pitcher and say, just do this. It's not like a manual. It's more of a smorgasbord, an idea of like all these people out there who've helped lift up the game, what your choices are. And also for folks like all of us out there, maybe you didn't play baseball at a high level, but you want to have an impact on the game. It shows that you can, because most of these guys that I feature in the book didn't play baseball at a high level. They just loved the game or had viewed it from a different angle and then ended up having a big impact on the game.
So, from all the pitchers that you have talked to, what do you think is the most underrated part of the modern dominance? Is it the preparation, the movement, deception, command? What do you think?
Probably I'm going with I think the mental game is very underrated. Like I can talk to a pitcher and pretty quickly know if they've got it or not as far as like confidence or thought process. Occasionally you're wrong. Like occasionally guys may not think about anything, but they're just pitch well. But a lot of times you can see it when you talk to him. Paul Skeens, the first time I talked to him, it blew my mind. Like how organized, how thoughtful he was about the game, and how little he pitched and was still dominant. So it's the mindset and the mental game because we can't measure that. Like these other things, it jumps out at you. You see 105-mile-an-hour fastball, you're like, that's fast. Or you see a pitch that broke 20 something inches, that broke a lot. But the mental game you don't see and you can't measure, but yet it is really important. So that's what I would say.
Somebody that's kind of been frustrating for me just because I'm a big fan of his is Hunter Green, who you mentioned earlier when we were talking about Chase Burns. But what's going on? What do you seeing Hunter Green, injuries aside, right? I mean, obviously he's injured this year, but I mean, this is a high draft pick. This is a guy that was supposed to become the next top pitcher in the game, but he kind of has this Nuke Lelouch feel, right? Where he can walk 15 and strike out 15 at any given time. What do you see with Hunter Green that's kind of like holding him back from really being that dominant pitcher that he was drafted to become?
A lot of pressure on him. And I thought last year he put it all together. I think he's got it together now. And I don't think you're going to see what you saw in the past. He is a guy that is a horse and an ace type pitcher. Everybody on the team knows it. You talk to a pitcher on that team, they all will say, that's our guy. And I think you started to see a different Hunter Green, and then he got injured. When he comes back, I expect him to be dominant. So I would not expect games like that. And it's just the confidence to throw in the zone. Some of it's physical. It's not even confidence. He's a confident dude, but sometimes it's physically being mature and knowing how the ball's leaving your hand. That's why you see pitchers' command typically get better as they get older. If you look at like Nolan Ryan when he was young, walked a ton. Sandy Koufax walked a ton. Randy Johnson walked a ton, way more than Hunter Green ever did. And then you saw them dial it in and have excellent command. So I expect that out of Hunter. I expect him. That is a Cy Young award-winning caliber guy any year he's healthy.
Sure. Looking at your reporting and your breakdowns, what do you think is the one innovation do you think has produced the most immediate MLB impact? Is it the cameras? Do you think it's advanced scouting? What do you think has made the biggest impact MLB wise?
MLB wise, a lot of is cameras and pitch plotting, so you can design pitches. You can see how it leaves your hand and where it's moving to, so you can combine those two and then design nasty pitches. So that's probably the biggest thing. But it's all like there's so many different aspects of it. Even just understanding tunneling and knowing how pitches work off each other is important. And also the discovery of seam shifted wake was huge. Like for years, since baseball was invented, we thought there was only one force that acted on a baseball. And then we discover randomly that there's another aerodynamic force that happens to make the pitch move as much as anything, but we never thought of it. So if you have the right seam orientation, you can make the ball break a ton glove side or arm side or down. And it literally happened to be, it was discovered by an aerospace engineering guy who didn't have a baseball background. So that's a big change. And it's basically invented the sweeper, the really nasty two seamers, as well as these things that drop crazy.
Okay, say Friedman has a team, right? You got to build your rotation in today's game with a closer. I'll give you a closer. Who's your 5 starters? Or you're going to go 4-man, maybe have a bullpen day, have a pitching chaos, as AJ Hinch likes to put it. But who's your starters? Who's your aces? And who's your closer? If you could
My
pick them.
closer's easy. Like my Mason Miller is the most dominant pitcher on the planet, and I will fight anybody on that. That is just true. He is the man, and I think everybody else is trying to catch him at this point. It's going to be hard when you throw that hard and you have a slider that's unhittable. That's tough.
And that walkout song he has.
So like everything about the dude. He's just understated as a person. Like he's very calm, quiet, which is great for a closer too. Starters, obviously you start with I can't even tell the difference between the two guys the last name start with SK. You have Scooble and Skeens are 1 and 2 in either order. I don't care. They're both studs. Crochet's a stud. He's struggling a little right now, but he's obviously a stud. Yamamoto, I love watching Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitch. I think he's just a pitcher. He's the guy, like, he throws hard, but he doesn't throw, 100. He's upper 90s, but can dot everything. Just awesome to watch. I would add in, historically, Jacob deGrom pitch for pitch is probably the best pitcher of all time, maybe. Pitch, like just command-wise and stuff. I think the world of that guy. And then if you give me like nastiness, give me Nolan McLean on the bump.
Yeah. I like it. My team's going 162-0, Mark.
I feel it.
Run support, though. Just asked the Tigers about that yesterday.
Yeah.
So 7 innings and Tigers can't score them a run. But
I know that was frustrating.
Who do you think has a chance to make the biggest step forward from last year to this year in regards to the filthiness? Someone maybe under the radar. I know Michael talked about rookies earlier, but some maybe established pitchers that you're looking at that could potentially take a step forward this year.
So I'm looking at someone like Dylan Cease, who's refined his changeup and looks extra confident. I thought he had some bad luck in previous years, and to me, him on that pitching staff is primed to have a big year.
I have one question in regard to younger people. I know we're the age, obviously, of social media. Everything's out there. What advice would you give an unknown pitcher trying to get noticed today? What should they post on social media, and what should they avoid, do you think?
So I would always post your best. Like it's really amazing to realize, and I started Flat Ground, which is where pitchers are supposed to highlight themselves, and I remember seeing so many people that would put up stuff where they weren't at their best. And I'm like, you have like one chance to open up people's eyes. Show me you blowing someone away with a radar gun that shows how fast you threw. That's always the biggest thing. There's a reason why scouts sit behind the backstop with radar guns. And there's a reason why scouts sit behind the backstop with radar guns. That's because velo is important to get in the door. It's not necessarily the most important thing as far as pitching and getting outs, but to get noticed, that's what I would focus on. And if you don't have that, it's very hard to get your foot through the door. But I'd also show as nasty stuff as you got, and show strikes, because the thing I hate is you show somebody throwing upper 90s or 100 and there's like ball. Show strikes just so I don't get all those replies.
Yeah. Right, yeah, sometimes it's all about the velocity for them. They're like, look how hard I can throw, but it's like, yeah, dude, but you missed that strike zone so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, velocity gets you in the door. So if you throw 100, people will notice. Yeah. You're just going to get roasted online.
I question, one thing I do, because I grew up as a catcher, right? And catchers, when I grew up, called some games, right? And today, do catchers call games, or is it really more like if it's like a Scooble? He's like, no, I'm calling my own shit. You just catch what I throw.
A lot of catchers do call games. Like Chris Sale never calls a pitch. Like Chris Sale, and his mindset is, never. He never shakes off, never does anything other than listen to his catcher. His mindset is, if I start shaking off, then I'm saying my stuff isn't good enough to get that hitter out. I need to not think about it, trust my stuff, and then throw whatever the catcher says and throw my best pitch that I got. And it's going to be enough to get it's just a confidence thing. And I love that from Chris Sale. That's I mean, with Chris Sale, it's probably true. Anything he throws is too tough for a hitter to hit. He's maybe one of the nastier guys you'll ever see. And when you talk to hitters, they say that he's probably the hardest guy to hit for a lot of guys. But you do have pitchers calling games, pitchers that want control over it. I mean, Zach Greinke back in the day would call every pitch. Tarek Skubal. And sometimes there's handing it off back and forth. Like, they're going to go at the catcher and then until they see something they don't like. I think, and then you have dugouts calling it sometimes, which I don't like. I understand it, but I mean, that's probably the old school guy in me. Like, I know that also they probably have more information to call the pitches, but it just feels wrong, right? Like, it feels like the catcher should be calling pitches.
I agree. Where do you think the ethical competitive line is with this technology? What tools do you feel like is fair training versus maybe too much of an advantage for the pitchers?
Yeah, I would say that's a really good question because I struggled with that in my book. I went back and forth. I'm like, pitchers have all this stuff and it's not even an ethical thing. It's a balance thing. Like, how do you balance the game out to make it fairer for hitters? They do have the traject machine that mirrors pitches and pitchers, like, the mechanics and you can see it leave their hand. And that's valuable to see a pitch multiple times. You still don't know when it's going to happen or not. So I don't view it as an ethical thing. I view it as a balance of competitiveness thing. And I do feel like hitters need help. The problem is by its nature, it's almost like they can't get as much help as pitchers get. You will have you do have AI being able to pick up pitch tipping, which is pretty useful. If a hitter knows what's coming, it makes it a lot easier to hit. So using something like that, I think you would maybe argue that may be not ethical, but I think it is. And it allows hitters to catch up, not in game, but you're using it scouting wise to say, oh, when the pitcher does this, it's probably going to be a change up because we've analyzed all their mechanics. So that would be a ethical thing on the other side. What is ethical with respect to using like AI and attacking the opposition? But to me, it's a sport. Everything's ethical unless you're breaking the rules, which, you don't want to be relaying pitches that you hack into PitchCom or something like that. That would be bad.
For sure. Yeah.
And kind of the final question we have to kind of wrap things up. What's next for you? I mean, are you going to go on tour with your book? I mean, what's next for you, even beyond the book? What's the future looking like?
That's something I never know. I never knew how I got here. So every day I wake up and I start thinking about what happened the day before and then just do something that interests me. I get bored pretty quickly. So I'm always looking at ways to make things better, but I don't have a plan. Like, I'm not one of those guys who plans out their life and says, in a few years, I want to be here. It's mostly, I'm kind of like Forrest Gump, like a leaf blowing in the wind, wherever it goes, I'm happy. Yeah. So it's like, so I guess this way you're never disappointed. If you set a goal and you don't hit it, you get disappointed. I just work hard every day and try to do cool stuff. And some days or some nights in the middle of the night, something will hit me and I'm like, oh, I should do this. So I really don't have a plan like that. It's just do the best I can do every day.
Well, thanks for all the content you provide. We love it. I mean, we're huge fans. We could literally talk to you all day about this. I have a million more questions, but we don't want to keep you here for 5 hours. But everybody go out and get his book, Unhittable. Just came out too, right? I mean, just like last week. So,
yep.
Congrats with that, man. I hope, I just picked up my copy, so I'm gonna hit that pretty hard. But
and leave a review if you like it. Leave a review because every review helps.
Yeah, those Amazon reviews. I know because I've written 2 books and Amazon reviews they help out. So thanks again, Rob, for joining us, man.
Rob, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right,
thanks, man.
You. Hell of an interview, man. Yeah, the pitching. Yeah, so much fun to talk to that guy. We say with a lot of our interviews, but you talk to this guy all day. He knows pitching inside and out, and it's just really really cool to get his insight and have him on the show.
Yeah, I mean, everybody we bring on the show, it's people we want to talk to, people that we think are interesting, not only interesting for our listeners, but people. I mean, Steve and I are selfish. Like, we want to sit down and talk to somebody that's not going to put us to sleep. So when we reach out to these people from all shapes and sizes. I mean, that's one thing about this podcast. We grab from all aspects of the game, and this is an aspect of the game. And it was such a blessing to have Rob Friedman on, the pitching ninja, and he gave us some really good fucking answers. So
yeah, he did.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have him on again sometime for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, it's that time. It's fantasy time, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Shall we head on over to that fantasy factory?
Let's do it.
All right.
Starter sit time. Hey,
Starter sit. Well, let's cue the music then, man.
Let's do it, Steve. Helping our fantasy listeners out right now. Who are we starting? Riley Green or Andy Pogus in the outfield?
Green's been turning up. I'm still going to go Andy Pogus.
Andres Gimenez or Colt Keith?
Colt Keith.
Angel Martinez for Cleveland or Travis Bazzana, Cleveland?
A little Cleveland special here. I'm going to go with Travis Bazzana.
Corbin Carroll or Fernando Tatis?
Tatis.
Matt Olson or Paul Goldschmidt?
Matt Olson.
Josh Naylor or Ben Rice?
Ben Rice.
Naylor again or Josh Bell?
Naylor.
Lou Bob or Steven Kwan, both having down years.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and the one time I put Kwan on my team, he sucks. Lou
Dude,
Bob.
right? Dude.
It's pathetic.
I know. Bums me out.
Yeah, Lou Bob all the way.
Brandon Nimmo or James Wood?
James Wood.
Great pick. Willie Adames or Ellie De La Cruz, shortstop?
Ellie De La Cruz.
Adames again or Nico Horner in the infield?
Nico Horner.
Nolan Arenado or Alec Baum, third base?
Alec Baum.
Austin Riley or Jose Ramirez, third base?
Jose Ramirez.
Ketel Marte or Jazz Chisholm, infield?
Ketel Marte.
Jacob Wilson or Perdomo, shortstop?
Perdomo.
Tyler Soderstrom or Isaac Paredes, first?
Soderstrom.
Shea Chandelier Langoliers or Cal Raleigh, catcher?
I'm going to go with the Chandelier Langoliers.
Great pick. Jaron Duran or Pete Crow Armstrong, outfield?
PCA.
PCA having beef with Dodger fans. Crazy, right?
Yeah, that's true, man. Holy shit.
O'Neal Cruz or Michael Harris II? Who we starting?
O'Neal Cruz.
And rounding it out, Dylan Dingler or Carson Kelly, catcher?
Dingler.
What do we got for waiver wire?
Well, we talked about it a bit earlier, but here's 3 players I'm looking at this week potentially to pick up on the waiver wire, and not going to lie, I've already picked up one of them for myself. First is Travis Bazzana for Cleveland. People got up. No, this is who I picked up.
Bastard. You bastard.
Yep.
You did it before the show, didn't you?
I did, totally. I did it while I was making the waiver wire.
You sneaky son of a bitch.
He's up 19% in Yahoo leagues. Teams have prospect fever here. We'll see how he pans out. Second is Nick Martinez for the surprise Tampa Bay Rays. They're 17-11 right now, but they're up 9%. He's up 9% in Yahoo leagues. Pitched 8 innings last week, getting the win and striking out 6. And then third is Peyton Tolle for Boston. He's up 12% in Yahoo leagues. He got 6 innings last week, getting the win and striking out 11. So a strikeout machine on that one. And before I could even pick that guy up, Joe Kelly already picked him up. So I was a little pissed off at that. But, it is what it is. So these are 3 players I'm looking at this week on the waiver wire.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, with that, shall we head on over to Collection Corner?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. If you want a real edge in the card market, Market Movers gives you the data to do it. Scan any card to instantly access values, sales history, and identify trends, all powered by a massive database with millions of sales from every major marketplace. You can track your collection, monitor the market, and make more informed buying or selling decisions. On top of that, members get monthly giveaways, a weekly newsletter, and invites to live events. Use code GONE20 for 2 weeks free, then 20% off for life at marketmoversapp.com.
Okay, so for my Market Movers pick of the week, dug into my Market Movers collection, and I picked a guy that, well, I don't know if you'll get him, but I think you will. I won't be spoon feeding you, but I'm pretty sure you'll get him.
Okay, all right.
So far this year, he's off to an okay start. If you were to, because he has 1 win, 2 losses, 3.31 ERA. Last season, he came on late as a rookie, and didn't finish the year great, but he was kind of like the Midwest Paul Skeens, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
big, tall guy, 6'7", hard-throwing right-handed pitcher out of Blue Springs, Missouri. He made his first All-Star team in 2025. He was drafted in 2022 by the Milwaukee Brewers and signed over the slot, signed just over almost $2.5 million, which was like a little over $1 million over the slot for that year. And right away he got promoted within a year, like a year and a half. He was up in AAA ball and ready to become a starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. He throws one of the hardest fastballs you'll ever see, especially for the Brewers. But the StatCast era topped him out at 102.3 miles per hour. And that was in his first start. So,
wow.
Who are we looking at?
Is it the Miz?
Jacob Mizrachi.
Nice.
Steve, if you have this card, which I feel like is an easy card to get, but it's going up, way up there. It's a 2026 Top Celebration Jacob Mizrachi hidden mascot card. So it's basically like it looks like a regular like Topps base card. But then on the little bottom, you see Bernie the Brewer giving him the pointers, which is funny. It looks cheesy as fuck, but it's his rookie card. And it starts around $40. It's going up though. I've seen it sell for like $67 on a high. It's part of the 75th anniversary of Topps. So Jacob Mizrachi hidden mascot card is my pick of the week.
Oh, okay. What I went with is I think you should be able to get it. It's a pitcher who had one really fantastic season in the 1970s. Very very much a one-hit wonder. He spends his entire career with the Detroit Tigers. He was drafted in the 10th round by the Detroit Tigers in the 1974 amateur draft. He later joked that when he received a phone call informing him that he had been drafted, he thought that he was drafted into the armed services. Silly. Not actually Major League Baseball, but
weird.
Rose up through the system. He joined the Tigers spring camp in 1976 and made the roster, though he didn't make his Major League debut until April 20, pitching only one inning through mid-May. And then once mid-May hit, on May 15th, he made his first career Major League start. And just lit the world on fire after that. May 25, he made his first start at Fenway Park in front of two busloads of fans from his hometown of Northborough, Massachusetts. And unfortunately, he pitched pitched well. He only gave up 2 earned runs through 8 innings, but Louis Tiant shut out the Tigers, so he took the loss 2-0. Took that summer of 76 and just ran with it. Made the All-Star team, won the AL Rookie of the Year, was the AL ERA leader, and then unfortunately after that, injuries seemed to derail him. But for that one magical summer in 1976, I've heard from family that it was quite the spectacle to see.
Man,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the bird, man, Mark Fidrich. It'd have been nice to see what he could have became if he didn't flame out early.
So it is Mark the Bird Fidrich. Card that I went with from my Market Movers collection is I went with his 1977 Topps. It's actually an autograph card, so it's PSA certified autograph, going anywhere right between 175 and 200, depending on the how the autograph looks. So that's a card that's actually doing very well right now for me. So
nice.
Yeah, well, Mark Fidrich action there. So with that, shall we get the candles out and celebrate a birthday?
Let's do it.
All right, well, looking online at this guy for his cards here, one of my favorites would be that classic 1987 Fleer look, and that just happens to be this guy's rookie season here, and it's none other than Barry Larkin. So it's a happy birthday to Reds great and Hall of Famer Barry Larkin, born on April the 28th of 1964. Career stats on Barry Larkin. I'm not gonna lie, he doesn't quite check any of the boxes here for Hall of Famers. 295 career batting average, strike 1. 2,340 career hits, strike 2. 198 home run, strike 3. 960 runs batted in, strike 4. But he does have 379 stolen bases. Spent his entire career with the Cincinnati Reds from 1986 to 2004. He's a 12-time All-Star, World Series champion in 1990, NL MVP in 1995, which is probably what got him the nod to go to the Hall of Fame. Is that MVP right there. 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, 9-time Silver Slugger Award winner, Roberto Clemente Award winner. His number 11 is retired by the Cincinnati Reds, and he is part of the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. Inducted into the Baseball's Hall of Fame in 2012 on his third ballot. So no veterans committee on this one. He actually got in on his own accord, even though the numbers don't quite back it up. But anyway, a little trivia on Barry Larkin. He became the first Major League shortstop to join the 30-30 club when he had 33 home runs and 36 stolen bases in 1996.
It's really
Michigan
hard.
Man,
he was a great player when he played.
Yep.
But if you're putting him in, then why isn't Don Mattingly in? Don Mattingly won an MVP. He was a 6-time All-Star, 9-time Gold Glove Award winner. I mean, he's in the Yankees Hall of Fame. He's had as a legend career. It's like but he doesn't. I mean, he had a 307 average, so he actually has a better batting average than Barry Larkin.
Yep.
It's just stuff like that. It's like him and Ozzie Smith. It's like, oh, you win him basically for the glove.
Yep.
But then Barry Larkin, he had that MVP. But it's like, if you're going to start doing that, then you kind of got to open up how you're letting people into the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Again, this isn't the Hall of Very Good. It's the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
All right. Exactly. Anyway, but happy birthday, Barry Larkin.
Yeah. Happy birthday, you Hall. Should be Hall of Really Good, not in the Hall of Fame, son of a bitch.
Exactly.
What he said.
Well, that's what he said right there. Yep.
That's a fucking show.
Whew, good show, man. Very good show.
Yeah, felt like a long one today.
It was, yeah. We'll throw in the pitching ninja interview too. We might be hitting a marathon here on this one.
It's a marathon.
If you're still listening at this point, thank you.
We know you guys are.
We know
Thank
you are
so much.
Yes,
we appreciate it.
It's a marathon.
It was a marathon today. The start venture cut, especially when we get it, because Steve and I like to explaining our picks. That's what we do.
Yep.
Fucking talk, man.
Yeah, we do. We like to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't just stare at the fucking screen.
No, that wouldn't be fun for anyone.
No,
unless you're on OnlyFans, and then of course certain people like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But be sure to go to our other YouTube channel. We see what you guys have been doing on the Underdog Podcast YouTube channel. We love it. But while you're over there, take a jump on over to the Long Gone Podcast on YouTube. You start looking at those. We give you extra content, and the episodes come out sooner.
Yep.
So check that out as well. We very much appreciate it.
Get some good hooks in there, and little clips, and then we do other stuff outside of the podcast. So it's you get a lot more content. Check out our personal page. So
yeah, a little more bang for no buck. It's fucking
no
free,
buck.
guys. So what are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah, like and subscribe. All right, like and subscribe.
Yeah, and then unsubscribe, and then subscribe again.
Subscribe again. Yes,
and then like it. Pumps up those numbers.
Yes, please.
But in the meantime, we have I think next week we have the Craftsman. We're gonna be talking with him. Some good interviews.
Got some good interviews down the pipeline here. So really exciting times. Yeah.
Yep. Kind of opening up our summer with some good stuff. So in the meantime, guys, have a great week. And we'll catch you guys all next week.
Deuces.